Hello everyone and welcome to Freedom and Honor. This is a Chinese RTS game from the 90s. It was never released worldwide. It may have been released outside China, maybe in the region, but did not come out in Europe or North America as far as I know. However, the sequel did. So before we do anything else here, a little bit of the basics. We have a factory here, we've got our radar, we've got these resource crystals, and we've got a builder here. So we are going to build some resource collectors here. Those are built directly in the field. And we are also going to build some hares here. That's just like a basic hammer style vehicle. You can also build these lynxes here, but that's actually a transport. We don't want to build that. So this game here is in full 3D. Look, you can spin around and do exciting things, which we may or may not want to do. But yeah, we'll get to that. The first mission here is pretty much an introductory mission here. You learn how to do some of the production, how to collect resources, how to control units, etc., etc. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So we're gonna produce some of these hares here, and then we're just gonna run over the enemy, and it's gonna be great. We are out of money now, but we'll get to that. Actually, we didn't finish building this collector here. Should have done that. And did we actually finish building this one? Yeah, I don't think we did. Okay, that was clearly a mistake. I thought we had finished those two, but it's not too important. We're not in much of a rush here. Yeah, this game's sequel, Freedom and Honor 2, that actually was released outside China or outside the region under various names, most commonly under the name Militarism or Generals of War, with the Australian version being called, well, not really being called, but having the added tagline, to command and conquer. Even though this game here is not particularly command and conquer like, the interface is a bit more StarCraftian, even though that's also more true for the sequel. And yeah, you finish this one here, please. There we go. Just one more run of glowy balls, and we're gonna be done here. And yeah, otherwise you've got worker units. You do have a population cap, and the way you collect resources and everything. Yeah, it's not really a command and conquer like game at all, and that's even more true for the sequel. That one has very StarCraft 1 like interface. Here we go, let's build a bunch more of you here. This first mission here, as said, it's very introductory, not too difficult. The enemy will eventually come after you, but they don't resent much. So yeah, we can enjoy these N64-esque visuals here, even the draw distance is better. So the camera here can move freely. Yeah, there we go. Enemy encounter here, but everyone here is on auto attack. And that's pretty nice. So this game here, the way the camera controls with the swinging, it can be a bit annoying, especially considering that you can't zoom out all that much. You can actually go on top of a mountain, then you can see a little bit more, but you have to explicitly move there. And that's not great. Even though there's various versions of this game here. There's one called, it's often called the Crimson Text version. It's not this one here because you can see the white text is here. There were various patches, re-releases, some of which did alter the game quite considerably with regard to balance. Some of them were more for multiplayer balance and then kind of torpedoed the campaign. And yeah, this is the white text version. And there's also various fan versions. Some of them have like better zoom and stuff. Let's destroy you here. In fact, you're already dead, so never mind. Let's go to the corners here. Those are already cleared up because we did have little structures there initially, but those got blown up. So let's move out. Let's kill these guys here. So we're playing as the humans and we're fighting the robots. The story is not super important. The intros are very lengthy, however, including some that contain Chinese poetry, which is not easy to translate, especially if you don't actually really speak Chinese. There we go. So you guys just come down here, and you know what? You may as well destroy these guys here on the way, because if we do that now, then we don't have to do it later. Some of these units are pretty tough, but then again, we've got plenty of these hares here, so I'm not too worried about that. And the enemy doesn't throw really a lot at you here. Yeah, this game has a number of conveniences. You can select all units by double-clicking of one type, by double-clicking on said unit type, which was not standard at the time. Some games had that, but it was not something that absolutely every game had. And that's actually pretty neat, especially with the way the camera works and everything, because you often don't have that much of an overview here. You really need to use a radar. Interestingly, there's no shroud. There's a fog of war, but there's no shroud. And the shroud's really only on the radar, actually. Well, I guess there is one. I just contradicted myself there. And so you need to clear that up, but you can just, if you're curious, okay, so what's in the corner of the map here, you can just move there with your camera, and then you can see it, even though, again, it's only like the landscape you see. You won't be able to, let's move over here, you won't be able to get an impression of what the rest of the stuff there is. Look like enemy forces and bases and stuff, even though what you can do is scan for crystal locations. And if you have those, then you can probably estimate that there will be enemies there as well. You can also jump to, there we go, here's an enemy structure we need to blow up. You can also jump to your current group by just selecting the group button again, which again, not all games did that. That's like a standard feature. This game here, so this game here wasn't really the first one to do a lot of things. It wasn't the first 3D RTS. It wasn't the first RTS to have these selection features, but it did use them at the time when they weren't a standard. Okay. So let's destroy these defenders here. And come on, there we go. My guys here are pretty damaged, but that's fine. If you lose our guys here, that's not problematic. We've got more hairs here in the making already. So come over here. Let's see. Actually, you're not doing too poorly. There we go. Let's blow you here up as well. There we go. And let's see how many of these folks we can kill before we get ourselves destroyed. I think we're almost done with these actually. Okay, you guys join me here, and then let's wrap this up. There's a one lone survivor. That's fine. The building's actually already damaged because we auto-attacked that accidentally. Not that we needed to do that. Actually, we do need to do that. Oh, you survived, yeah? Because I think you only need to destroy the enemy base here. You don't need to destroy all the units, but we may as well blow the units up so they don't molest us. There we go. And they're going down nicely. There we go, and then blow up the HQ. Boom. Victory. And there we go. I won, as you can see here. The computer did not win. I shall see you next time. Thanks for watching and take care.